I learned a real lesson, obviously, when I was working with the homeless when I was very young. But even when I was in a probation officer, I was working in one of the largest, or the largest at the time, young offender institution in the UK, or in the Europe, but is in the UK, called Feltham. I worked with a guy, and we worked really well, and he was just magic. So he was a co-facilitator guy. Then he'd go off sick for a wee while, and I wouldn't know what was going on. Anyway, we built trust, or he trusted me, which was great. I trusted him already. And then he came back one time. He said, "Sam, look, I experienced I'm bipolar," and I didn't know what that meant.
Oh, yeah.
So what I mean by bipolar is that it kind of going, sometimes they'll be really manic and just go like 24/7 and can stay awake and be really sharp and all the rest of it, and almost it gets to a really bad extreme where they're not looking after themselves and kind of start having ideas that are really unrealistic. And then the other end of the pole is being really depressed and suicidal and so on. So that's what I mean by bipolar. I'm not a clinical psych, but that's more or less what it is.
Yeah.
So he told me that, but obviously, those times we were really clicking together and going really well and fast and all the rest of it, we were both kind of quite high, and they're kind of really full of energy, and he was really indefatigable, and he was just so cool at what he did. And I really missed that creativity he had. And on the other hand, when he was off, it was often because he was really down and so on. And I guess what I'm saying is I'm sure there are other people, there are other people around the workplace who experience all sorts of psychological challenges to varying degrees and extremes. And in the workplace, I think sometimes, as you say, we're scared to recognise that. I think organisations are becoming more prepared to kind of face and engage with that, and realise that most of the time we operate fairly well, but there will be times perhaps when some people don't operate as well, and it's just kind of creating an environment where they can say, "Hey, look, it's one of those times when I'm not operating quite as well. Can I take some time off? Or this is what I need you to do to kind of make sure I operate more effectively."